Hi there and welcome here. If this is your first time, it's so good to have you here. And if you're a returning viewer, wow, thank you so much for giving me a second chance. I must say, I really love how generically this channel has been growing. When I started my blog in 2014, I don't think I really enjoyed the process of watching the growers or the viewers increase. So I'm really marveling in this whole experience. I have purposely not shared the YouTube channel link on my blog yet, just because I'm really just enjoying seeing like how many people I can reach on my immediate circle in quotes, as opposed to like my larger audience, which is my blog. But yes, thank you so much for coming here today. If this is your first time, again, you are welcome. Please don't forget to subscribe. Please don't forget to click on the notification bell just so I don't have to be disturbing you every week with I've posted or come and click or. And this is if this is your second time, I love you so much. Thank you for giving me a second chance. Today's video is going to be about my experience weaning my toddler. So just a little backstory. My son was about 1 year and I think 7 months when I weaned him. And prior to that, I tried to do like some research, trying to get like info on how to go about the weaning process, because this is my first child. And of course, I knew like stories from other moms and all of that, but I wanted like correct input or correct direction on how to go about it. But when I was doing my research, I noticed that most people who talked about weaning a child were talking about like younger children. So they're talking about like children 6 months to like 9 months. And at that stage, I think that children are a little more impressionable. They're still, a little reserved. Some of them haven't started walking at that time, or, don't have like fine motor skills to navigate finding the boob and all of that. But my 1 year and 7 month old boy was very active. His name is Rain, for those who don't know, and he actually really does live his name. He's constantly bossing me and my husband around, so you can imagine trying to tell that guy that you can't have any of this, you can't. So it was such an ordeal. So yeah, that's why I decided to do this video, because some moms choose to wean their children off of breast milk at like an older age, and I thought that this might be useful for those moms. So keep watching and let me know what you think at the end of the video in the comment section. Now, I will say that I'm not a medical practitioner. I did not go to school for any of these things. I did not read any of these things like on a professional level. However, I did interact with lots of mom. I did lots of research before coming out here. So you don't have to adopt anything I am saying right now, but these are the tips that helped me, the things that helped me through my process, and I think that if you could try them out when you're weaning your child, it will be very helpful. My son is, like I said, he was 1 year and 7 months when I decided to wean him, and I tried to taper off because everyone says don't stop immediately, don't go cold turkey, it's going to be so painful, yada yada yada. And they were right. That's what I can say. They were so right, because when I tried tapering off and I failed woefully at that, I finally had to just go cold turkey, and it was so awful. I'm not even gonna lie, I thought my boobs were trying to kill me. It was nasty. But yeah, so I would advise that if you can taper off, you should taper off. So that will probably be tip number one: try to taper off. But for me, the reason why that did not work, like I said, my son was older, and as at this point, like at night, whenever he has to suck through the night or during the night, he didn't even used to have to wake me up. He would just lift my blouse or full of the brow, whatever I'm wearing to sleep, I'll find his way there. I'm sorry if this is too much information for some of you, but welcome to my channel. So tapering off was not working out for Rain and I. He would become so upset. He couldn't understand why mommy would say no sometimes and say yes other times. He would start to throw tantrums and just honestly just be much, and I couldn't deal with that. So I just decided, you know what, cold turkey. And the day I decided to go to cold turkey, I didn't think it through. It was just like I didn't let him suck through the night. When he woke up at night to suck, I gave him formula because he still wakes up at night to eat some nights, not anymore now. But I gave him formula instead of breast milk. And then we went to church, and funny enough, strangely, he never used to disturb me for breast milk like whenever we're outside. It was always when we're at home. So in the house, he would just probably come from wherever he was and just try to lift up my blouse. And the mistake I made when I was letting him is I let him use breast milk as I'm gonna call it a snack or pastime, or if he's bored or something. I didn't make it like a meal. So I was feeding him regular food. I was giving him everything else that we were eating in the house, but he was taking breast milk as he's watching TV and he needs something else to pass time. He'll just come and suck. So that was the mistake I made. So I made it too, I think it was just readily available for him. That's part of why it was difficult to taper off. So I would say that if you want to taper off and you're planning to like breastfeed till the later years or the early toddler years, you should probably not let your child go off their schedule. You should just make sure that they are on the breast milk for the times that they are on the breast milk. That will make it easier to taper off. Tip number 2, have lots of paracetamol in the house. Like I told you, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt a lot. A lot of moms told me about this paracetamol thing. So have lots of paracetamol in the house, just because it's like the least, I would say, is the least offensive or least strong pain reliever, but it gets the job done. So have lots of paracetamol in the house. Every maybe 4 to 8 hours or so, you could take a dose. Tip number 3 would definitely be cabbage leaves. I know it sounds strange. I know you're probably thinking, cabbage leaves, what is this incantation thing we're doing? But it was such a game changer, and I need to shout out to the mom who recommended it to me. It changed the whole thing. Before the cabbage leaves, I was angry, I was cranky. Whenever Rain would try to come at me, I was shouting at him. Whenever my husband would hug me, I'm like, babe, just because it was a whole lot of pain. But with the cabbage leaves, it made it so much easier. So basically what you do with the cabbage is you take off the patches, I don't know what to call them. You know how it is now, like the ball of cabbage. And I took it up and I washed it like really nice, and then I put it in the freezer. Some people say fridge, but I found that the colder it was, the less painful my boobs were. So I put it in the freezer, and when it was cold or really cool, I would put it inside my bra. And that just really helped, just because like it was taking away some of the pressure and the tension. The other thing I would say, tip number, this will be 4 now, is you should probably try to express a little, like very little as you can express, that would make it less painful for you. Just because what's happening is that your boobs are super full with the breast milk that your child would normally suck. So your milk ducts are getting blocked. At some point, the milk that was dripping out of my breast, I'm sorry if this is too much information, but the milk that was dripping out of my boobs was looking like, you know, when you leave milk out for a long time and you don't like put it back in the fridge or anywhere, how it starts to separate. That's what the milk started looking like at the 2nd or 3rd day of this whole process. So I would say express just a little of your breast milk, just to soothe the pain and to avoid your breast from masticizing, which is something that you don't want to experience at all. The next thing I'm going to say is, when your child starts to request the breast milk, you need to be strong. It's really hard, especially for me. It was very hard for me because I'm one of those moms who I think I'm spoiling my son a little, but you need to be strong because this is ultimately for them. One of the things I've noticed with my son is he eats a lot better now. So before, when we would try to feed him solid food or what we're eating in the house, he would eat it well, but he knew that there was something else. So sometimes it seemed like he was holding out for breast milk. But now, because he knows that, oh, after this one, I'm on my own, this lunchtime and lunchtime is over. Now because of that, he's a lot more, he eats so much. I'm not going to lie, like he's finishing everything in my house. So that's the new problem that we're having. He's eating so much better. So I think that this is one of the reasons why we're advised to wean our children eventually, because with how I was feeling at some point, I was like, you know what, this boy can suck till he's 30 years old. I'm not doing it again. These people are trying to kill me. What's so wrong with breastfeeding my child anyway? You know. But I just want to say a big kudos to moms out there. It is not easy. From the birth of your child, the first time they suck, you know, the latching, all the struggles you go through to get this child to eat, and then eventually they're eating and they're eating well and they're eating more and more, and then all of a sudden you have to stop. Even if you're tapering off, you would still experience some discomfort. That's just how it is. So I'm just going to say well done to moms out there, moms to be, moms in waiting. We're all doing well because it's a whole roller coaster of events, roller coaster of emotions, roller coaster of everything, and you're going through it and you're doing it. So good job. So we've come to the end of this video. It's a pretty brief one just because I wanted to share these tips to help other moms, especially those who want to wean their older children. So thank you so much for watching. Again, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to ring the notification bell. And I will see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao. Editor in general of it.